Hey, what's good, YouTube? I'm Inferno, and welcome back to my devlog on Future Warfare. If you don't know what the heck Future Warfare is, let me explain real quick. So, Future Warfare is a 2D sci-fi strategy game where you can select between either playing as the Galaxians, which are the white and blue units, or you can play as the Dreadnoughts, which are the black and red guys. And each of these different factions that you can play as has different units. And each of these units have their own unique strengths and weaknesses. So the last player with the base standing is the winner. So in this video, we're going to add in some turrets to the Galaxian side so that the Galaxian base has a defense. And after that, we're going to update the Galaxian base too. And finally, we're going to update the Dreadnought base. So let's not waste any more time and let's get to it. So let's start by creating the turret for the Galaxian side. For this turret that we're creating, I have a 2D box collider attached to it. This will be the range of the turret. So once an enemy Dreadnought steps within this 2D box collider, the turret will begin targeting and attacking them. So we're going to create a Galaxian turret aim script. And this script's going to rotate the turret gun of the turret so that it is always pointing at the targeted Dreadnought. So we can see that the turret does react to the Dreadnought moving inside its range. However, it doesn't continue to rotate properly and follow the Dreadnought as it moves closer to the base, which means we have to go back and fix that code. I revised some of the code inside our target Dreadnought method, but the main change I made, I think that fixed it, is inside _ion.look rotation. I changed vector3.up to vector3.back, and that seems to give us the correct orientation. Alright, let's take another look after those changes have been made to the script. Oh yeah, that's much smoother. Much better. Now that we have the turret rotating properly, we now need it to fire some lasers. So I created another method, attack Dreadnought, in here. And this is going to instantiate a laser object at a controlled rate. So right now it's going to fire one laser every second. Well, cool, we can see that the laser is being spawned in and fired at the correct rate. However, the orientation of it is pretty off. I believe it has something to do with the fire point's rotation. So let's go ahead and check that out. So changing the rotation of the fire point to -90 seems to align it with the turret gun. And yeah, the turret's looking sick. This took me, honestly, forever, and it's great to see it working. I also wanted to see if the targeting was working correctly, so I spawned in 2 Dreadnoughts, and this turret's going to finish off the first Dreadnought. Sweet, that is working. Now that we have the functions of the turret working, I want to create a better graphic for it. So we're just going to start with a simple circle for the base of the turret, and then we're going to start creating the gun right on top of that. I thought the colors between the gun and the base of the turret were a bit too contrasting between light and dark, so I decided to lighten up the tone of the gun. Now I'm just adding some light coming from the top left, and then I'm adding some shadow just below the barrel of the gun. And I'm also adding some shadow to the base of the turret. Awesome. So now that we are finishing up the turret gun. We're going to separate the turret gun from the turret base because we only want the turret gun to be rotating to face whichever enemy it has targeted. Let's take a look at how the new and improved Galaxian turret looks in game. So currently I am using the Galaxian Scout laser as a placeholder for the turret's laser, but I want to create a unique laser for the turret. So let's go ahead and do that. So I start off by creating a blue blast-like shape for the front, and then kind of like a jet following behind it. Next I begin brightening up the center of the laser, and finally we're going to add an outer glow to the laser. Let's take a look at the new laser in game. I think it really came out good. I like how it's bigger and much easier to see compared to the previous laser. After making a few graphics, the artistic side of me wanted to continue making some more. So I thought it was about time to update the Galaxian base. So I'm going to start with the sketch on that, referencing a gazebo for the entrance. It just had a similar structure to what I wanted to go for. This time in creating the base, I wanted to focus on adding more detail. Compared to the previous Galaxian base I just slapped together really quick. Now we're going to start adding those base colors. The two main colors I want to be focusing on is white and blue, because those are the main colors of the Galaxians. And right now I am beginning to draw the tower for the turret. I'm just adding some panels to the side of the tower and the walls, and then creating the force field in front for the entrance. And I'm just adding like a energy ball thing at the top, if you will. And then we're adding in the base for the turret that is going to be standing on top of the tower. While creating the Galaxian base, I was kind of experimenting with the colors a little bit. I was first trying an orange light source and then a purple light source, but I just thought there was just too much colors going on. So I thought it would just be better to stick to the white and blue as the main colors. And we're just adding some circuitry to the panels on the side of the base. Now that we have the base colors all finished, we're going to start adding some detail to the base. So I'm just adding some shading and some tints to it, and making those panels kind of pop a bit more. I'm also adding in some variations in color for the force field in front. So yeah, I just added some light coming out of the sphere on top, but I'm not too pleased with how it came out, so I'm going to come back and fix it up once I get better at art. And really, we're almost done here, so I'm just adding some shading to the roof of the entrance. Alright, now it's time to import the base into the game. So now we just have to adjust the sprite size. And then we're going to move over the Galaxian's turret to sit right on top of that tower. Sweet, so now we have a new and improved Galaxian base. Now that we have the Galaxian base all finished, let's go ahead and update the Dreadnought base as well. I didn't use a reference to do the rough drafts, so it took me several hours just to get the general gist of what I was going for. It is very hard for me to use my imagination at my current level. However, I'm glad I stuck to it because I'm very happy with the way the final draft came out. I really like how the head of the base came out just above the front gate. Kind of looks like a cybernetic Grim Reaper, if you will. I'm sure you know the drill by now. We're going to start adding in some of those base colors. Being a Dreadnought base, the main colors we're going to be focusing on is black and red. I am also going to create a tower for the turret, just like I did for the Galaxian base. At the bottom of the tower, we're going to add in a red light source. Cool, with that done, we're going to start adding some detail to the head of the base. I'm going to start by adding these copper plates on the back of the head. And then I'm going to connect the back of the base to the head with some cables. Following all of that, I'm going to continue to add some detail to the head. Just going to shade and add some tints to the metal plating on the side of the head. Sweet, I'm pretty pleased with how this is starting to turn out. And finally, we're going to add detail to the sensor or the eye of the Dreadnought base. Up next is going to be the front gate. I just added some detail to the top and showed some of the lighting coming off of the force field on it as well. And just trying to light up certain parts of the force field and add these little white lightning effects going through it, just to try to show that there's energy flowing through this force field. And I'm just doing the same thing to the bottom of it as I did to the top. Alright, up next we're going to start working on the sidewall. So I just started with creating one strip, and I'm just duplicating that over 5 other times. And in between those segments of the wall, I'm putting in a window here. And later I just decided to close it. In hindsight, I think it looked better open. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And yeah, we're pretty much done here. Just doing some finishing touches on the top of it and on the overhang part. And that's going to do it for our Dreadnought base. So yeah, of course, we're going to import the Dreadnought base into the game. And we just have to scale it accordingly. I want to have it a little bit bigger than the Galaxian base so that it kind of has a towering presence. Just so that it gives it more of a intimidating vibe. Alright, let's see the fruits of our labor. So I'm going to play the game. Wow, that looks really good. Huge improvement from the previous bases we had. And not only that, we also have a functioning turret for the Galaxian side. Also, I gotta say, I really like the contrast between the two bases. It adds a much needed character to the game. I was also going to include creating the turret for the Dreadnought side, but the tablet I used for drawing the graphics broke, unfortunately. So I think this is a good place as any to end this video here. Rest in peace, little guy. You served me well.